Hi everyone, I received some questions regarding the preparations we've made to ride the Stoneman Arduenna, a mountain bike ultramarathon challenge. So in this video I will share with you 8 tips and tricks and one special bonus tip at the end of the video that can help you to ride your own Stoneman adventure. If this is the first time you're going to ride a mountain bike ultramarathon challenge, then this video is definitely for you. But before we start, I want to mention that I'm not a professional athlete nor a personal coach. These tips are based on our own experiences and should be treated as such. That being said, I think these tips can definitely help you to successfully ride your own ultra mountain bike marathon. So let's get started! Tip number 1. Bike and gear on point. Before you start, you want to be absolutely sure that your bike and gear are both on point. The last thing you want is have to quit your ride due to a mechanic breakdown that you probably could have prevented. Your fitness is one thing, but your bike needs to be fit as well. On such a large trail, your bike is gonna get a beating. I took mine for full maintenance at the bike mechanic shop, and at the end of the Stoneman Gold, my bottom bracket was loose as well as my rear wheel. The guys from the Stoneman worked out a 7-point checklist that can help you to verify if your bike is ready to go or not. First, check the handlebar. Check that components such as stem, handlebar and grips are mounted correctly and securely. Secondly, check the brakes. Push your bike and alternately test the brakes to see if the pressure point of the brakes is clearly noticeable. Next, check your gears. While driving on flat terrain, shift through all gears and adjust gears. If necessary, lubricate your chain and your gears. Check number 4, the tires. Check the tires for any damage and tire tread depth. Is the air pressure okay? Is the rebound set to your weight and to the conditions of the trail that you're going to ride? Number 5, suspension check. Do shock and fork have sufficient pressure and is the rebound set correctly to your weight and conditions of the trail? Check your pedals. Check whether the pedals and cranks are firmly mounted and turn without noticeable resistance. For click pedals, check the mounting of the cleats. And finally, check number 7, your helmet. Place your helmet horizontally and tighten the head ring and chin strap, but make sure that the helmet fits comfortably and without pressure. Tip number 2. Pack some spare parts. You've done everything you could to prepare your bike to be just on point, but nevertheless, sometimes shit just happens and you're gonna have a breakdown along the way anyway. So that's why you need to pack some spare parts. For instance, when I was riding the Stoneman Arduenna, my rear wheel got loose and I was able to fix it because I had a mini tool with me. So a mini tool is one of your tools you want to take with you. Other spare parts or tools you want to pack are spare inner tubes or a tube repair kit, a pump or cartridges to fill up your tires, a Leatherman if something gets blocked, you're able to fix it, some tire lifters and some lubricant because it's gonna be a long ride and you're gonna need it. Tip number 3. Plan your trip according to the weather conditions and your training level. The weather conditions, whether it's on the riding day itself or the days before you're gonna ride a trail, have a huge impact on how hard the ride for you will be. The first time we rode the Stoneman Arduenna, we started with tropical humidity followed by thunderstorms and lots of rain. These kind of conditions will make it extra challenging both mentally and physically. So if you can, plan your trip when the forecast says dry weather and not too warm. However, the Stoneman Arduenna trail seems to dry up pretty fast after days of rain. Choosing your date when you want to ride your Stoneman Arduenna or any other mountain bike ultramarathon has influenced on how many hours of daylight you will have to complete the trail. For instance, at the end of June or beginning of July, you will have the longest days, which will give you more time to complete the ride. At least in Belgium. This will give you more time to take some breaks, do some repairs and ride the trail at a lower average speed. Tip number 4. Wear appropriate clothing. Depending on how skilled and trained you are, it will take you shorter or longer, but bottom line, on a trail of 176 kilometers, it's gonna be a long day. On average, you're gonna be in the saddle for more than 10 hours, so be sure that you wear an appropriate pants with good cushioning. On such a large distance, you're crossing several regions and the weather can change rapidly, so be sure that you're prepared for this and you pack clothes for both dry and wet conditions. Tip number 5. Train towards the goal. We started training for the Stoneman 5 months prior. At that time we were already riding some mountain bike trails around 45-65 kilometers, But a trail of 176 kilometers with 4,000 vertical meters demanded some specific training. The first few months we focused on driving up the volume, which means longer rides at a moderate intensity. This way you can make your body adapt to long hours in the saddle and boost your body's oxygen uptake capacity. Since high intensity is not the goal here, you can use a road bike to do these kind of trainings, if you have one of course. These longer rides were mostly done during the weekends, with 1 or 2 shorter rides during normal weekdays. After 3 months of training on volume, we started to shift towards shorter rides on the mountain bike, but with a higher intensity and a lot of vertical meters. You will have to conquer almost 4,000 vertical meters along this trail, so it's very important that your legs are trained for this. Gradually increase the amount of vertical meters that you ride towards the end of your schedule. We've done a nice training route in the region of Uren. I will share a link of that video in the description below so you guys can check it out. In addition, during this 5-month training period, we also train in the gym to increase some overall strength and stamina. We mostly used HIIT training formats for this. Tip number 6. Make a carb, food, drink schedule and stick to it. This is the golden tip. This is probably the most important tip of all. Keeping your body fueled on such a large distance will make a huge difference in victory or defeat. If you don't put sufficient fuel in your body every hour, your body will slowly run out of fuel, which will lead to extreme fatigue and not making it to the finish line. So 1 or 2 months prior before you ride your ultramarathon challenge, try to estimate your average speed goal and your total exercise time. The total exercise time is not your active riding time. It's the time from start until the end. It's your active riding time, including your breaks. This is important because the human body can only stock fuel in the form of carbs for 90 minutes of exercise. So on average, you will have to take 60 grams of carbs each hour. You can choose in what form you take these carbs, whether it's via sports bars, sport gels, or isotonic drinks. With your estimated total exercise time, you can now calculate how many drinks and food you will have to take with you. Sport nutrition brands like Sanas, for instance, make this very easy because each unit is packed with 30 grams of carbs. So develop your carb schedule and test it out 1 or 2 months prior to your marathon challenge. This way on a long ride you can find out if it's enough carbs for you and if your digestive system can take it or not. If this is the first time you're going to use something like this, your digestive system will have to adapt to consuming and digesting such large amounts of carbs every hour. When you've got your carb schedule on point, it's very important that you stick to it during your ride, even when you're not feeling thirsty or hungry at some points. On such long rides, this will mean that you will have to pack a lot of food and drinks, so you will either need a large good mountain bike backpack or you will have to ask some of your buddies to bring you new supplies along the way. Tip number 7. Pick your starting points. Not every part of the trail is equal. Some stages are a lot harder compared to others. The heaviest part is definitely the southern part of the trail between Heeresbach and St. Vith. We didn't want to start with the heaviest part because we wanted to be sufficiently warmed up, but we didn't want to ride it in the end either. So that's why we chose to start in Malmedy, so the heaviest part would be approximately in the middle of the day. Don't be misled about the map of the Stoneman Arduenna, which shows the height profile of the trail. Based on this map, it looks like the hardest part or the heaviest part is between Malmedy and High Fence because it shows the biggest climb on the map. Although this is the highest point of the route, climbing percentage is very low, which makes it a long climb but a very easy one. For accommodation, I suggest you book with one of the partners from the Stoneman. There are partners all over the route, and the advantage is that these people are used to having mountain bikers as clients, which come with dirty clothes and dirty bikes, and you will probably even have the option to wash your bike and store your bike safely afterwards. Tip number 8. Develop a riding schedule and take your breaks. In tip number 6, you already needed to calculate your average speed goal as well as your total exercise time. You can now use those two metrics to calculate how long you will ride between 2 checkpoints and at what time you will have to be at a certain point along the trail. That way you can easily check if you're still on schedule and you have to maybe speed up a bit or chill down a bit. It's also very important that you plan your breaks in advance. Making non-planned stops will cost you a lot of time at the end of the day, so plan where you will take your stops and for how long, and stick to it. So that brings us already to the last tip, the bonus tip. It's gonna be a long day and poop comes and poop goes, so you better bring some tissues and be prepared. So these were my key tips. If you have any questions, leave them in a comment below. If you liked this video and you thought this video was useful to you, then please like it, subscribe to the channel or leave a comment. As for now, all I can do is wish you a lot of fun and good luck with your Stoneman adventure or your ultramarathon adventure. See you in the woods or in the next video. Cheers!